Good morning, this is Vicki.
And this is Jo.
And we're the Two Natural Ladies.
And we talk about the good news we all need and ways of getting the most out of life.
We help people with practical, uplifting ways we can all make a difference.
And we're striving for better, not perfect.
And we love a good laugh. Please enjoy the show.
So you're with the Two Natural Ladies and we have
Another P.
We have Paul on the line. Welcome, Paul.
Hey, thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome. And so Paul's a qualified multimedia designer and he's been doing that since 1996, website developer and business owner since 2008. Cultivate Digital is a boutique web design studio. And so we're going to talk to Paul.
But you've just missed one of the most exciting
top
bits.
5 rated web design agency
in Google. That's very cool. I was like, oh my gosh,
So
he's somebody you want to speak to.
So who do you know in Google that's famous?
I know customers. They give us lots of lovely reviews. Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Fantastic. So we was wanting to talk to you about, it's very daunting starting up a business. So where should somebody start marketing if they're just looking to start out?
Yeah, and there's a lot of technical terms. I think people are getting much, much better at knowing what they need to know. But, yeah, where do you start? So there's all kinds of businesses. There's, side businesses. There's uber small businesses, one-man, one-woman businesses. There's ones like myself that have a couple of employees, and there's bigger businesses. But I think what they all really need is a website. That's probably the bottom line, just to compete and to go head-to-head with their competition. But there's about 9 things that most websites need. And I guess humans, creatures of habit, they expect things to be in certain spots. And you'll hear lovely things like, I feel this website's very hard to use, or I'm kind of confused. I won't go through the 9 things, but one really big thing that I see all the time, or don't see all the time, is a phone number that's up on the top right of the website. Yeah. Or you're on your phone and you do see that phone number, but you can't click it with your finger to call.
Yes.
Yeah, we need to check that on our
Ooh, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, because everyone wants to look up a website these days, don't they? So
yes.
Yeah. What would you say? It's like a trust building exercise, I guess, too, just to see you're there.
Yeah, credibility. Yeah.
Yeah, credibility.
Yeah. So how much would a website, like a good website, cost? Like a basic, but, one that works properly.
Yeah, it's something I've been debating for 15 years. Like, how much does a good car cost? How much does a meal cost?
I always say, how long's a piece of string?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I used to have that on my website. I probably do. I guess it's about getting a good fit company to company, and that maybe doesn't mean big. So a lot of big businesses, big, and I'm thinking 5, 10 people, so it's probably small, potentially want a big web designer. It's not always the best move, but websites can range from a free Wix or Squarespace to maybe $300 overseas to $10,000. I had a client the other day tell me he got a quote for $70,000.
Whoa!
Yeah.
So is that outrageous, or is that just what he needed?
It seemed very outrageous.
Right.
Yeah, it seemed, and he did kind of spend quite a lot already, and possibly got overquoted. But sometimes for the business owner, it's so confusing, and they want them to handle everything, and so they'll pay a big top dollar. If they want to get a little bit more involved, you can kind of save quite a bit. The more specific they are, the cheaper usually it is too. Yep.
There's also, isn't it, it depends on, somebody who, e.g. the person we just had on, a marriage celebrant, she's going to need, some information about the different kind of things that she does and photos. And photos, but she doesn't need a shopping cart or so it depends on how much information is needed on the website. Would that be accurate?
Kind of, because some will, I guess, they're pricing to make it look like it's got value to it. They'll price per page, but in reality, making extra pages is a click of a button these days. So all the work goes into your look and feel and the function, and that's the bit that takes forever. And that's a lot of back and forwarding with the client, a couple of weeks usually, and that's really where all the effort goes.
Yeah, so somebody who has a number of products that will take a while to.
That will take longer.
Yeah,
that'll take longer. So I guess what's kind of happened is there's these Wixes and Squarespaces and things which are great tools, but it's relying on business owner to make it themselves, and that's why they miss these phone number things and all these other kind of elements that they really need on a website that they just don't know about. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know my phone number. I don't know why you need my number.
Yeah, I think to put it on there.
Yes,
it's very critical. Yeah. Even putting things like form on every single page, putting trust factors, so maybe the certifications or companies you've worked with on every single page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sort of keeping it in front of mind. Yeah.
Yeah. Coming up with a really good call to action.
Yes.
Maybe just not the old free quote, but free consultation, or is it a plumber that I'm going to get back to you in 30 minutes? Really thinking up very interesting, clever ways. Yeah.
Because the other thing is that they say, how many seconds have you got to? Correct. How many seconds? Do you know what? 3 seconds.
Usually they say 3. Oh, so hang on. 3 seconds to load-ish.
Right.
You can, and
yep.
I don't know how many seconds to capture someone. It probably is similar. And they usually say 3 clicks to get to what they need to get to.
I just want to give up. I think it's like, really?
Well, give up trying to make your website work.
Yeah, it's like, that just sounds too hard.
Yes.
And I guess that's why there's experts, right? There's experts
Yes.
in building tables. There's experts in all these different fields.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why we don't have to do it.
Yeah.
We get other people to do
you
it
do
for
it
us.
for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So seriously, Paul, do you really know a plumber that responds in 30 minutes?
I was picking up stuff.
Have you actually set up a website for a plumber?
I've done quite a few, but not that. No, I think what's a really good one? With tradies, a really good one is cleaning up after themselves.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, if you think about yourself, what can you do that's different to the other guys? What do you do differently?
Yeah.
What can you put on your website that kind of grabs people because they're already there?
That you can actually deliver on. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And so what about free stuff? Like what can businesses do that are kind of free?
So I think really social media is fantastic, probably a little bit overhyped, but it's something that can potentially really blow up, I guess, the young people's term. And the key to that is really posting every second day, probably minimum. That's hard to do. There's companies like us that can help, I guess, but also having a strategy. So not just posting what you do. So if I pick on plumbers again, not just posting the jobs they're done, or car mechanic just posting the jobs done, web designer posting the jobs they're done, clothing company just clothes. So you want to have a strategy of maybe one day's testimonials, one day's staff, one day's tips. And usually tips work really well. So how do you help people looking after those clothes they've just bought? How do you care for it? If it's a furniture company, how do you look after the cushions and, all these kinds of things you can think of that are really nice free ad backs that they go, hey, those guys are really helpful. When I really needed a particular outdoor cushion, I'm just making stuff up, they had really good tips on how to look after it. Okay, I'm going to go to them.
Yeah, I always want to know how to look after my outdoor cushions.
Yeah.
It's very important. So what about Google Maps? That's pretty good, isn't it?
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Yep. So if businesses don't have that, that's a big naughty. Yep. You really, really need it. I think the barrier for most is they work from home, or maybe now they're working from home. It's free. It's called business, my local business listing. Yep. free to sign up for. You just start getting customers to review you on there.
Do you have to reveal your address, though?
You don't have to, but it helps more if you do. And I think that's a barrier. People get worried.
Yeah. Well, like you say, people working from home.
Yeah, you can set an area.
And that's the one where you wait like 2 weeks for Google to post you in the snail mail a code.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the one.
That's it. Sometimes they know your phone number, though, which is a bit spooky, and a robot calls you and gives you the number straight away.
Oh, that's nice.
You know, I really want to go on a tangent right now, which I'm going to do, about when somebody rings you. Now, they've rung you, say from your bank or somewhere, and then they want to know all your details.
Yes.
It's like, but you just rang me.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry, go on.
I don't give them. I don't know who
That's
they are.
Interesting. Yeah. I'm sure there'd be some expert that would know how to fix that kind of problem too.
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, no, that's okay. So maps are really, really good, and that's where I got all my reviews from. Yeah.
Okay.
Facebook is also a good spot.
Yep.
Trustpilot around a lot. That's the little green one with the green stars.
I don't even know that.
I think businesses like that one more because they have a bit more control over, but it doesn't pop up in Google, right? So if you're looking for those outdoor cushions again, and you see that map pop up with lots of reviews, right? You can pick them, or when you pick a restaurant, everyone looks at the reviews.
Yes, that's true. Yes. And blogs. Yeah, blogs are important.
Blogs are very important. It's something you can do for free. Post one every month. The tip is kind of 2 ways to do a blog. One way is to it's almost like here's what we've been doing. We're still around. The latest stuff we've done. The really beneficial way is probably the SEO way, which is picking a really specific topic about a problem, because everyone goes to Google with a problem, right? And they look up, we'll pick on the cushions again, my outdoor cushions are fading, right? And you can have all these tips on there how to look after it. And then hopefully at some point, because you've given all this free information, they'll come back to you and buy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've written a blog, haven't I, Paul?
You have?
We spent months trying to work out where to put that blog, didn't we?
Did you ever work out where to put it, or did it go in that proverbial place?
That's why I co-wrote it. And we were trying to work out, there was 4 of us, and we were trying to work out how to do it without us being penalised. And it was so wonderful to be able to talk to Paul about it, because he knew all of this stuff, because I would have thrown it up there and got penalised.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a rabbit hole, that one, because you can't really... Duplicating content's a big no-no.
See, that's very annoying. Can I tell you? That's very annoying, Paul, because I've written some blogs, for Vicki and I, and I've given them to one person who I don't know where it's gone. And then it's like, but you can't use it again just in case, because then Google might say naughty.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not fair.
No, it's not fair, Google.
No. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong, and I think that's where people get a lot of confusion, and it's maybe not so much a penalty to you. It's more that article on because you've duplicated it on your website now, and it was second. It just won't rank as high or at all as that first one. Yeah. The content's king. You could reword it most. Maybe 90% differently, and you'd be okay.
So you'd be better to put it onto your website first in certain situations, and then give it to the other person. There you go.
Oh, Joe's got it.
Yep.
There you go. Or give them a different kind of short summary and get them to link to you.
Yes.
Depends. Yeah, that's a big part of SEO, which we might talk a bit about later. But that's a backlink then.
Or backlinks.
And that helps you rank higher.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Yeah, back. That sounds like we need to know more about backlinks, yes. And you're with the 2 natural ladies, and we've got Paul telling us some amazing information about what you need on your website. So where are we up to? What else do you want to tell us, Paul?
Oh, maybe a really important fact, and I guess empowering fact, or tip is back yourself. If you're a small business owner, you've already kind of made the leap, and I think a lot get a bit nervous and they kind of just sit around waiting for the phone call for the customers to come in. But yeah, back yourself and put some effort into that map, put some effort into the blog, put some effort into your social media, because what you can earn from your business is, and I know because I see a lot of businesses doing this for 15 years, it's better than the real estate market. Even though the real estate market's gone crazy at the moment, it's actually got a lot more potential. So back yourself and do some of these things and do it well and grow. Yeah.
Well, and you can just always, keep trying. I mean, I've been in business for over 30 years, and you never give up, do you? You do something, and then you improve on it, and you learn as you go, and yeah.
Well, I was talking to someone yesterday and saying when we started, there was no computers. When we started, there were that's not true. There were computers, but everything was either by phone or in person. There was no really talking to people
or internet.
There was no internet.
Yeah.
And that was the way you communicated with people, was phone and in person. And so we've had to learn as things are introduced.
We've adapted.
We've had to adapt.
Yes.
Whereas, somebody born now, they've already got all that, like it's just part of how they grow up.
Yeah.
Whereas, for us it was, I remember 6-7 years ago, we were going, maybe we should do some videos on Facebook. It was like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. And whereas that's what you need to do. Everybody
that's
says.
The thing now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now we're doing good old-fashioned radio.
Okay.
So Paul,
and probably podcasts, yeah.
We are
doing podcasts. Yes, thanks to the wonderful Jerry Penny who's helping us.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, it's changed a lot. I guess it feels like it's changed a lot for me too.
Wow.
And maybe just quickly, I think that's the reason why websites cost so different. So it's definitely a fact of all the radio people and all the TV people have moved into web, for sure. Yep. As that's kind of gone down, the web's gone up, and that's increased prices, I guess. And then probably what's increased prices a lot is this offshoring kind of companies for websites that we all get lovely spam emails and phone calls from. There's a percentage that's gone to that, and a percentage that's gone to the Wixes and Squarespaces and those. A printer told me not long ago they felt the same when, I probably can't name names, but it's a popular online printing stickers and business cards website.
Yep.
They felt like everything kind of dropped, and then all the quality dropped and the prices dropped, and then it's kind of bounced back because people have realised that maybe wasn't the way to go.
Yeah.
That's happened a little bit with the web, but you still get this massive.
I think the same sort of thing, if you look at talking about that printing company, is that the other thing is that you go on there thinking it's going to cost you $10, but then you realise, but if you want this, that's another X amount, and then there's this, and before you know it, you've spent, $30 or $40, but it's still like, that's 4 times of what you were expecting to, and it's probably the same with, with websites, and that's the benefit of someone like yourself who's going to, give you an honest appraisal and say, well, this is what you need.
That's a good point. I like to think of us as, and a lot of the good web designers as carpenters, not, can I name brands?
I think
Maybe
so.
Not.
I don't
know.
IKEA.
Right.
I mentioned them before, yeah.
Yeah. So that's,
yes.
it's a great brand, and you'd have it in, I've got IKEA stuff in my house, but if it's your business, it's a bit different, and you're trying to be the best or trying to be one of the best of the best, you probably want a carpenter, and that's
Well, that's true. I've got IKEA stuff. I buy lots of IKEA stuff, but I asked my husband, who's a carpenter, to make me a special piece, furniture piece specifically for our needs, and I love it. It's a signature piece in our house.
I've named brands anyway, but the Wixes and Squarespace. Another good point too is when you add up their fees, like this Vistaprint, I think Joe was saying, when you add up all these fees over maybe 2, 3, 4 years, you're going to have a website for probably 3 or 4 years, maybe longer, and then you're probably going to redo it. It gets very similar to what a local web designer would charge anyway.
Well, and in
Right.
fact,
They're just splitting it up.
Yes.
The monthly payment that goes, so small. So it's a very good point about you think that business card block is $10. Yeah, but it adds up.
Oh, I think we need to talk to you, Paul.
yes.
I do. My brain's just going, this has got to be done. This has got to be done.
Yeah.
But what I do want to know is, because the first thing we need to know is, how do we know if what we're doing is working?
Yeah, so all too often I see almost every client that comes in, they're not tracking anything.
No.
Yeah, so what I mean by tracking, so and it's sometimes employed big marketing companies, and still nothing's tracked.
Wow.
And they'll send all these stats about this is how many clicks you got, or this is how many clicks these keywords can get. What really matters is how many people are clicking that phone number, how many people are filling out your form, right? And there's a bit of technical stuff I've got to do, or the web guys can do on their side to do that, and then send just a really nice, simple PDF report of this is how many, Joe Blow, you spent this amount of money on your marketing, this is how many phone calls you got, this is how many form fills, and they can kind of then start to separate it between SEO and social and ads and whatnot.
Right, and then you can start to tweak things as according.
Tweak.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. We've got a big inner city jeweler at the moment, and years and years they've not tracked anything, and it's kind of just reliant on the business owner to go, yeah, it felt like a good month. And human memory is pretty bad. My memory is pretty bad. So how do you know what's a good month? You can go through your sales, but how do you know that's not someone that walked through the door or referred someone? So you really need to kind of filter that stuff out so you can work out what's working. Yeah.
Well, there you go. And, the old SEO, you and I have had a number of conversations about the old SEO, haven't we? And, you were talking about backlinks too.
Yeah. So there's kind of three types of marketing online. SEO is by far usually, just general blanket statement, is usually the best because you've got a problem, you need a plumber, something's happened in your bathroom, you need a plumber ASAP, where do you go? You usually jump onto Google. Yep. And you go plumber, Caulfield, some local suburb usually.
And some are paid ads and some are free ads.
That's right. Yeah. Most people, and I think they'll be nodding their head in the car as they're driving or listening to the radio, they scroll past the ads because they know they're ads. They're like a TV ad. It's very minimal. It's about 3% of the clicks, I guess. The benefit of these ads, though, is they're almost instant. You start to create them today, they're going to start appearing today. Yep. Very expensive per click normally. $2, $3, $4, like my industry is sometimes $20, $40 a click. Becomes very cost prohibitive, I guess.
Yes.
The flip side to that is SEO, and that's where most people are looking. Customers are looking and clicking and searching, and they're red hot because they've actually typed in that keyword and they're looking for it. Yep. But SEO can take forever because it's all these backlinks. It's someone like us getting a copywriter to write a 300-word article on another website that then links back to you, almost like a newspaper release, if that makes sense. Yep.
So if somebody, e.g. the two natural ladies said, okay, we want to leave where we are now and we want you to do it, and we've got all this content, you can transfer that?
To another...
Or to whatever you create, like you create... We're with Squarespace.
Oh, right. Yes, yes, you could, 100%.
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say maybe transfer domain names or different company names. No, you could. Yeah, 100% you could.
Right.
Squarespace. Yep. Especially if you felt like that was the costs are getting, a bit high.
Yep.
And if you felt like I would like to probably use some data and see if you're not getting the sales that you think you should be getting, that's not converting, then you've got data to go, yes, it's worth the move. It's not a personal opinion.
Yes. Yep. Cool.
Yep. Yeah. So that's SEO. I hope that makes sense. And I hope that makes sense.
And I think you spend a lot of time creating the SEO and the backlinks and all of that. That's quite a big part of, and it's a time-consuming part too, isn't it?
It can look expensive. I guess what businesses need to think about is, again, backing themselves and seeing if there's good ROI of their products. So if you've got a lifetime customer and they're coming back and they're buying again, they're not costing you again through the SEO. You know, you've got them once and you've kept them because you're doing something probably pretty good. You're a good carpenter, whatever it is. What's the value of that customer compared to the SEO?
Well, and I suppose, yes, we need, and it sounds like you do it, the track, you know, is the money that we're making then covering the cost of making the money?
Yeah.
So
that's very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And you also, I think you could do the, you know, Paul, just do it all and, you know, I don't want to know, and you do all that, but you would also set something up so that if someone wanted to update something every month on their site, you could show them how to do that once you've set it up.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So it just depends on what the customer
At
needs.
what level people want to be involved.
Right. Yeah. They're all very, the Wixes, Squarespaces, WordPress, they're all very easy to do that themselves now. Yep.
This is wonderful. Thank you, Paul. You've been very informative, and we've definitely learnt some more things. Is there anything else that you wanted to say?
No, I think that's really, back yourself, make sure everything's trackable so you know what's working, and you know, touch wood, if something does happen, like COVID, I think a lot of businesses are in the lurch. They thought certain types of tactics and marketing were working, and after COVID, they don't know because nothing's been tracked, so they don't know what was happening. And now they're in a real big problem because they don't know what's changed, which is really, really heartbreaking. Some we've kind of just, because there's no tracking, but you can kind of work out that maybe their competition has jumped on after COVID and put a lot more money in, and there's no tracking. So you're kind of going, I think, Mr. Client, this is what's happened. You know, they've gone up in price, and you've got to go in price, but you never had any tracking, so you don't know what was working.
Well, there you go. So, Paul, if people want to have a chat with you, just as we've had a chat with you, and find out more how you can help their business, how do they get in touch with you?
So they can just go to Google and type in Cultivate Digital. It should pop up there with our lovely reviews, and you can send us an email through the website, or you can give us a call.
Fantastic. And your phone number will be on your website that they can click on.
Yes.
Or it's 0409 402 670.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
They can't click on that, but, you know. Well, and we kind of chose you a song, didn't we?
Yes. We couldn't find your song, and as you said, it was long. So, yes, thank you so much for your time, Paul. And
thanks, guys. That was lovely.
Have a wonderful day, and we're going to play Dear Enemy Computer One.
You've been listening to the Two Natural Ladies podcast. Visit twonaturalladies.com.au for more information. Thanks for joining us.